We have massive breaking news we're tracking right now. The United States has successfully seized a Russian shadow fleet tanker, the Aquila II, after a massive global pursuit.
And they got it in the middle of the Indian Ocean. This wasn't some simple port operation.
No, not at all. It is February 10th, 2026, and this is a huge victory for international law and, especially for the defense of Ukraine.
It really is. And look, before we dive deeper into this, a quick but important note. If you support freedom, if you support justice for Ukraine, please take just a moment. Subscribe to Defense Reports. It's your go-to source for timely, in-depth military and defense reports like this one.
We really do appreciate that support. Join me in the latest program by Defense Report for the latest in global defense news, military technology, and strategic developments. And today we're going to cover, this incredible story, this relentless 10,000-mile hunt by the Department of War to capture a vessel funding Russian aggression.
It's a huge development, and huge is the right word. The Aquila II is a Suezmax tanker.
Okay, for those of us who aren't shipping experts, what does that mean exactly?
It means it's the absolute biggest ship that can still squeeze through the Suez Canal. You're talking about a vessel that can carry 1 million barrels of oil.
1 million barrels?
It's basically a floating skyscraper filled with black market cash for the Kremlin.
You'd think something that big would be easy to catch, but this was incredibly complex. The whole chase started over a month ago, right? On the other side of the planet.
That's right. You can trace this all the way back to January 3rd. It kicked off right after that U.S. raid in Caracas, Operation Absolute Resolve.
When they captured Nicolas Maduro.
Exactly. And when that happened, the whole logistics network supporting these rogue states just panicked. The Aquila II immediately fled the Caribbean.
And they didn't just run, they tried to completely disappear. The report says they were running dark.
Which is, standard practice for this shadow fleet. These ships are supposed to broadcast their position with a system called AIS, so they don't, crash into each other. But to hide, they just turn the transponders off. They even painted over the ship's name, used fake names like Cape Balder.
Thinking they couldn't be touched if they weren't on a map.
They thought they were invisible. They were wrong.
Yeah, that assumption was clearly a mistake. The Department of War put out this incredibly blunt statement. It just said, it ran and we followed.
And they followed it for 10,000 nautical miles. From the Atlantic all the way around the Cape of Good Hope, deep into the Indian Ocean.
And that's where they finally took it down.
That's right. U.S. Indo-Pacific Command forces boarded the ship from helicopters in the middle of the night. It was surgical, apparently. No incidents, no shots fired. They just took the ship.
But the question is why? Why spend all these resources on this one vessel? It's about the cargo, isn't it? Who that oil pays for.
It's all about that. The ship, which used to be called Astro Polaris, is owned by a sanctioned company, Sunoco Limited.
So it's a known bad actor.
A key part of the shadow fleet. This network is basically a financial lifeline for Russia's invasion of Ukraine. They use these old tankers to move oil off the books, bypassing all Western sanctions.
So just to be clear for everyone listening, every single barrel on that ship translates directly into weapons being used against Ukraine.
Essentially, yes. This is the money that keeps the war machine going. And seizing the Aquila II, which is the 8th such ship they've seized in just a few weeks, it's not just about maritime law.
It's a direct financial attack.
You're cutting a financial artery. It's a material blow to Russia's ability to keep fighting.
It really underscores this new doctrine we've been seeing ever since the Department of Defense was rebranded to the Department of War. That whole peace through strength idea.
It's a very clear message, not just to Russia, but to anyone in that shadow fleet. If the U.S. can track you dark across 2 oceans and board your ship anywhere,
then there's nowhere left to hide.
Exactly. The days of operating with impunity in international waters are over.
And I have to imagine the ship itself is now an intelligence goldmine.
And that's the final provocative thought, isn't it? Now that the U.S. has the Aquila II, investigators get everything. Navigation logs, computers, communications.
All of it.
This one seizure could give them the entire roadmap to dismantle the rest of the shadow fleet.
You've been listening to Defense Report by Alex, where we analyze the latest in military strategy, global defense, and advanced weaponry.
Subscribe to Defense Reports, your trusted source for timely, in-depth military and defense analysis. We'll see you next time. Keep supporting us so we can continue bringing you the latest developments from Ukraine and around the world.